The Pentagon has officially withdrawn its earlier assertion that Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles, https://www.theguardian.com/Australian News 2025, August 10 Marles insists Australia not supplying weapons, our weapons are weapons, did not meet his U.S. counterpart, Pete Hegseth, during a last-minute visit to Washington. This move has intensified debates over the official narrative of Marles' White House visit, which was initially denied by American officials, casting doubt on the federal government's account of the trip. But as Albanese's government ministers faced scrutiny Thursday morning, Pentagon chief spokesman Sean Parnell clarified that Marles and Hegseth did indeed meet, marking a pivotal moment in the unfolding diplomatic drama. Secretary Hegseth welcomed the opportunity to meet in person with Deputy Prime Minister Marles for the third time this year, Parnell stated, emphasizing that their White House encounter, held on Tuesday, was prearranged. On Sunday, Marles announced his plans to visit Washington, stating he would meet with Hegseth and other senior administration officials. Though the trip appeared rushed and would leave him without the start of the parliamentary sitting period in Canberra, Marles later expressed satisfaction with his meetings with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. https://www.theguardian.com/Marco Rubio, though he carefully framed his remarks, calling the meeting fantastic to see Secretary Hegseth again. He shared photos of the meeting with Vance and Rubio, highlighting his commitment to the U.S. alliance and referencing Hegseth. Despite a planned press conference being cancelled before his return to Canberra, the Pentagon now calls the meeting a happenstance encounter, claiming no formal discussion took place. Meanwhile, the Australian government insists the talks were a one-on-one exchange covering the Aukus nuclear submarine agreement, a cornerstone of their strategic partnership. The Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, dismissed discrepancies between Washington and Canberra, noting that Marles met with the U.S. Vice President and Rubio, who holds multiple critical roles. By any objective measure, visiting the U.S. and meeting with such high-ranking officials in the administration, when we face so many pressing issues, is quite strange, he remarked. Marles' previous meetings with Hegseth in the U.S. and at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore in May underscored the importance of these exchanges, with Hegseth advocating for increased U.S. defense spending to counter China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific. The Pentagon's recent review of the Aukus deal, led by Undersecretary Elbridge Colby, https://www.theguardian.com, world/2025/Joel11, Aukus Agreement, Nuclear Submarines, UK-Australia, has sparked concerns within the federal government and defense sector. Australia has already transferred $1.6 billion under the agreement, but additional complications arise as Prime Minister Anthony Albanese seeks to secure a face-to-face meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump, https://www.theguardian.com/Donald Trump. These talks, set to occur next month during Albanese's visit to New York for the UN General Assembly, could disrupt the G7 summit in Canada, which was cancelled due to Trump's early return to the White House. Shadow Finance Minister James Patterson criticized the lack of progress, arguing that Marles' meetings with senior officials, including White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, demonstrate a strong U.S.-Australia relationship. We aspire to have senior access in Washington, D.C., Patterson said, highlighting the importance of these engagements. However, he emphasized the urgency of securing a meeting with Trump, given the 290-day countdown to his election. Albanese and Trump may cross paths at upcoming diplomatic events, including Quad leaders' talks and G20 APEC summits, underscoring the significance of their bilateral relationship.